UC Davis is a nationally and globally recognized leader in sustainability. It's also the largest out of all 10 UC campuses and the third largest in student population. According to the UC Davis Sustainability Advisory Committee, sustainable practices are defined as those that support ecological, human, social, and economic vitality for both our campus and the global community. They meet present needs while enhancing the environment and the ability of future generations to thrive. So how does a campus get to be sustainable in the first place? And how can we as students get involved? My name is Berit, and follow along with me on Sustainably UC Davis, where we get to the bottom of campus sustainability efforts and hear from the people that make it happen. Today we're starting off with the Big Shift project. But first, allow me to introduce to you Eric O'Brien, Director of Sustainability here at UC Davis, who will explain a bit more about what sustainability means and looks like here on campus.
So sustainability to me always makes me think about my kids, my family, my future grandchildren, and wanting to make sure that they have the same opportunities to be able to manage resources that we're having today. That means there's a responsibility that we have to manage those resources in a way that they're there for my kids and my grandkids and all future generations. So the interesting thing about the Sustainability Office is that we're a unit that really has to work on creating partnerships across campus. We work with our operational team to try to engineer a more sustainable campus. We also work with the academic side of the world to try to incorporate sustainability in interesting and new and unique ways throughout the curriculum across all of campus, not just in kind of the traditional areas that you might think of. In addition to that, there's a number of different ways that we work with students. For instance, the TGIF program focuses on sustainability-related grants, specifically on things that are going to impact the campus community and also things that benefit students. That entire fund is managed by our students, and it's something that our student population said that they really wanted, and they've actually funded for the next 10 years. So sustainability is very much a topic that requires an entire community to be part of trying to address the solutions. Here on a college campus, it's a great way to see that in action because college students have the unique opportunity to create a voice that can be heard both in the classroom, but also to our university administration. When students have an organized voice, that's when we begin to see change. For instance, we've gone through the process now of a number of climate planning exercises on our campus that have gone actually into the entire University of California system level. Those are a result of both student, faculty, and staff voices from right here at UC Davis leading that conversation. When students get organized like that, that's when we start to see a lot of the changes that we want to see related to a cleaner planet going forward, related to a more resilient future for our campus and the entire community.
Now, on to the Big Shift.
If you're a student, you may or may not have heard of something called the Big Shift project. As the name suggests, the Big Shift is a multi-step, years-long process of shifting our campus's heating infrastructure from a steam system to one run by hot water and electricity. The latter uses renewable energy instead of natural gas, with the electricity coming from nearby solar power plants. Hot water is also more efficient because it does not need to be heated to the same boiling levels as steam. In order to achieve such a goal, though, the vast network of pipes beneath every building on campus needs to be replaced with new insulated hot water pipes. Further improvements include retrofitting the campus's central heating and cooling plant to support the new hot water system. Construction began in spring of 2020 by digging 4 miles of trenches in and around the quad, and by 2025, they aim to start breaking ground in the Sprocket District, the area of campus near the Segundo Dorms, University Credit Union Center, and the ARC.
Now let's hear from Josh Morejohn, Executive Director of Utilities and Engineering Operations, to hear about what the future holds for the Big Shift project.
The Big Shift is actually one of the biggest steps we can take toward decarbonization. It's also one of the most logical things the campus can do because it's not only getting us tied into more renewable resources, but it's also making the whole system much more efficient, eliminating waste, and reusing as much of the campus energy as we can, kind of recycling it. And so in terms of achieving some of our goals, the campus heating system itself right now is 80% of our carbon footprint for the Davis campus. And so this Big Shift project has the potential, when it's done, to reduce our carbon usage on the campus by 80%, just this single project. And so really one of the best things we can do and the best bang for our buck in terms of decarbonization. The Big Shift started a while ago in terms of the concept. We have something we've been working on and thinking about for many years now, but in terms of actual construction and implementation, in 2020 we started construction of the first phase on campus, and that went for 2 or 3 years, and so we've just now are moving into the second phase of construction, hopefully in January of 2025. We've been working on the design of that, and we're also going to be starting the third phase of the Big Shift in 2025, which is going to be the heat recovery chiller plant and the thermal energy storage, which is really the heart of the whole system. That's how we're going to be generating the hot water more efficiently, using the heat collected from the buildings in the cooling system, and then moving that to the hot water system, storing it, and using it when it's needed. So that's all happening next year. It's exciting because that's going to be some really big steps forward. Yeah, one of the biggest challenges with a project like this is that you have to put new pipe in the ground. And in some places that's fairly straightforward, like the quad behind me is a big grassy field. There's not a lot of utilities in it. We actually chose to go right through the middle of the quad because it was so much easier than going up the road where most of the utilities are buried, and you have a lot more tree roots to deal with. But it's inevitable that you're going to have to make it around some trees and through other utilities, and so it's really a big team of people trying to solve those problems as much as we can ahead of time, but then there's always going to be some decisions in the field too. This project is a good example of opportunities for students to engage in sustainability on campus. Not only can they learn about how the campus works, but they can also get involved with some of the staff on campus that are involved in operations. My office and facilities hires many students as interns, both undergraduate and graduate students. We also love to get feedback from students. We have an app that's specifically for thermal feedback called Thermostat. So you can tell us if you're too hot or too cold in your classroom. We also like to get students on tours, and we like to get classes involved with projects. So feel free to reach out to us and find out how you can get involved.
You can keep up with Big Shift project updates by joining their newsletter or visiting bigshift.ucdavis.edu. Stay tuned for more of our coverage on Sustainably UC Davis.